They should be doing with their staffs, because it's the writing that lasts. It's the way to help readers connect with material, to connect with lives different from their own. Narrative is kind of a fancy word for a good story that transports the reader inside another experience. That's what narrative does. It transports us. And that is a very addictive, seductive, subversive, wonderful thing. And readers of all ages respond to it. A good place to start, believe it or not, is the sports section. Sporting events are ritualized narratives, and they are natural, custom-made events for great storytelling. There's usually two sides. There's usually someone who clearly wins and clearly loses. There's good guys and bad guys. There's ups and downs. I mean, sports is a very, very useful place to start thinking about the power of narrative. Well, I think if you can even devote 15 minutes or an hour to watch, just observing somebody with immersion reporting, if you're profiling a teacher, watching him or her teach, if you're writing about a coach, watching him or her coach, it's nice when you have weeks or months, but honestly, you don't necessarily need that much time to get interesting things and to learn some things and to get some good scenes and some good insights into the person you're writing about. If you have a very limited window, then you're probably not going to have room for that much. So I actually think you can learn, it's really valuable just to spend 15 minutes, half an hour, an hour. I take notes throughout, and if I can, I organize my notes as I'm going so I have some sense of what I have and what's the best of what I have. But I find it very hard to write until I'm finished with my primary reporting, because I don't really know yet what the story is. And I'm not sure. Sometimes I know this scene's going to be really important. You're always surprised. I think it's good to have some ideas or theories, but honestly, life confounds our theories and is usually much more beautifully complex and messy than our theories. You have to be careful that the narrative details that you include in your story are relevant and they're not just self-indulgent, showing off, I wrote all this down, so I'm going to put it all in the story. There needs to be a reason for everything that you put into the story. Two common traps that student journalists can run into is they want to write about their friends, and they're worried about writing anything that makes their school look bad. I don't think it's their job to make their school look bad, and I don't think it's their job to make their school look good. It's their job to describe what life is really like inside their school, for better or worse. When in doubt, be straight. That's one of my pieces of advice to young reporters is be straight with your sources. Tell them exactly why you're doing whatever you're doing and why you're doing it and why you think it matters and why you're hoping that they'll talk to you. I think it helps for students and for everybody else to know what their baggage is. Because like if I'm going to write about the principal, it helps for me to know, okay, Tom, you've got this issue with principals and with authority figures, and you need to put it aside. If I start off disliking the principal, it's not going to go well for the story or for the reader or for anybody. So it's useful to know what attitudes you have and to try to neutralize them. So when I write about 13-year-olds, if I try to approximate their voice, unless I'm really, really careful about it, I'm going to end up looking very foolish. But I think the voice that comes through, whether I'm writing about a 13-year-old or a 16-year-old, or actually anybody, is that I think the voice of someone who thinks that their lives matter, and that I'm going to take them seriously. Not reverently or not accept everything they say at face value or agree with everything that they say or do, but that I think what they do matters and that their lives really count and are worth paying attention to.